All right, what's going on? In this video, I'm going to show you how to connect Carrot.com to REISift utilizing Zapier. It's an amazing way to be able to get your leads that come inbound from your online marketing right into your REISift account, assigned to somebody, status updated to lead, so that you can make sure your team is following up with those Carrot leads. So let's get to it. All right, so I'm inside my Carrot account. Ignore the fact that my leads or impressions are a little bit lower than they normally are by about 50%. That's just because we changed up some Facebook ad stuff. But nevertheless, you need two things here. Obviously, you need a Carrot website. I think you need to have the middle plan at minimum. Don't quote me on that. Go ahead and go to Carrot, speak to Carrot and figure out what you need on that front. And then for Zapier, you just need a regular Zapier plan. Doesn't matter as long, but you do have to have the paid Zapier. You can't just use their free trial. I don't think they allow webhooks through their free trial, okay? But what we're gonna do is we're gonna start over on Zapier, and you can see that I have two zaps here. One says Carrot to REISift 1 and Carrot to REISift step 2. Really, it should be step 1 and then step 2. And I'm actually gonna start from scratch here so that you guys can have 100% and see exactly how it's done, okay? So I'm gonna create a new zap, and right away I'm gonna name this new zap Carrot to REISift step 1. And I'm gonna choose webhook inside of here. It says webhooks by Zapier. You can see it says premium. That's because you do need that paid account, okay? And then we're gonna choose a new event, and that new event is gonna be catch hook, all right? Now this is the same exact way that all of your CRMs use to send leads from Carrot into any of your accounts, right? They just use Zapier to do this because it's the only way Zapier has, or Carrot has to do it, right? And what you're gonna do is you're gonna get this custom webhook URL. After you copy that, you're gonna head back over to your Carrot website and click on content. And what I like to do is I like to go to my website, and I like to look at what the form field is called. Notice how it says, what do you have to lose? Typically, that's what step 1 is. And if you've ever submitted or got leads from Carrot, you're gonna know that you have a step 1, you have a step 2. They just intake the address from the very beginning, and then after that, they get additional info. The reason why is because you wanna capture that most minimum information that you need, an email and a phone number and a property address, and then you want to get as much information as possible. We want to set it up to where you get both of that information to your REISift account, okay? So you click on content, and then under content, you're going to click on forms. And then after you click on forms, you're going to find that step, okay? So what do you have to lose? Get started now. What do you have to lose? Get started now. So that's the form we want. We're going to click on the edit button on that. And then we're gonna hover over settings and go down to Zapier and click on Zapier. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and click on add new. And we are simply, click on add new again, there we go. We're gonna name this REISift, or Carrot to REISift, the same exact name. I'm gonna do it 1.1 though, because I might already have it in there. You're gonna leave it active. You're gonna have the admin panel labels no. Same exact information, just click save Zapier feed, okay? Oh, I forgot to put the webhook URL. Go ahead and paste that webhook URL in there and then click save. Okay? Once that saves, now we can go ahead and we can move over to Zapier. Okay, all I'm gonna do is click on continue, and I'm gonna go to my REISift account, and I'm gonna go ahead and log in. Okay, so now I'm inside my REISift account, and what I'm gonna do is just go to the records page just to be ready. I may have to go to my settings page in order to grab an API key here in just a minute. But if you wanna know how to link your Zapier to REISift, under the Sift Dojo, there is a video for that, or actually in the Help Center, there's a video for that. But you got to click on the Zapier integration private link here. And then in your Help Center, if you just search Zapier Dojo, just go to the Zapier Dojo right here. Open that up, and then you'll have a whole series on how to set up Zapier, and as well as creating zaps for different things, which is where you might be watching this video, okay? So get connected to REISift, We're going to test the trigger here back at Carrot. We're going to get some information I just got passed over. And then we're going to click continue. Now we're going to search for REISift. So 1.0.9 is the most recent. And remember, you want to make sure that if you don't see this information here, then you need to go to the Help Center and watch the Zapier Dojo first initial series and get Zapier connected, okay? The event we're going to do is create and update our property. Continue. And then we are going to choose REISift. Continue. All right, so for the actions, we're simply going to create a Carrot list here for the property list. For the tags, I'm going to do Carrot step 1. And then for the property notes, I'm going to do some things here. I'm actually going to populate everything in here, and then after I populate everything in here, I'm going to do some rearranging, okay? So I'm going to take all the information that I want from step 2, and I'm going to put it here. I'm not actually going to put anything from this on this one right now, okay? It's going to stay blank. So property street, we're going to go ahead and send the street. You'll notice that they have property address, which is a full one, but you want the one where it's just a street address right here, okay? And then same thing with city, and you can type city here. Kind of helps narrow down your selections. State, you can type state right here. And then you can type postal code here, so zip. All right, and then the status is gonna be lead. And then assign to, you're gonna put an email of the person inside of REISift that you wanna be assigned this. So like Diana at Florida Cash Real Estate, for example, okay? Owner first name, we can see if it's sent here. I don't think it's sent here because remember on step 1, we don't ask for that information, okay? We just get the property address, we get an email and a phone number. So we are gonna go down, however, and we're going to get a phone number. And we are going to add the email. Okay, and then we're going to click continue. We are going to skip the test because there's no real address being sent. So therefore, if you were to try and send it, it's going to see in REISift. It's just not going to do anything. It's not a real thing. So we're just going to skip test, and it's going to go through, and it's going to populate. And once it finishes here, then we'll make sure that we can continue and do our next zap, okay? Okay, so it's done, click close, zap is ready, we would turn it on. Okay, and then we're gonna go back. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna create another zap, go figure, right? Create zap. And this time we're gonna say Carrot to REISift step 2. And then we're gonna do webhook again. We're gonna choose catch hook, continue, same exact thing, copy the hook URL. And this time we're gonna go back to our forms and we're gonna choose step 2, more detailed submission. And you can just hover over settings and go to Zapier as well. You don't have to actually click on edit. Okay, and we're gonna click add new. And we're gonna do the same thing. Okay, Carrot to REISift step 2.1, and we're gonna paste that hook, and we're gonna click save Zapier feed. Now we can go back to Zapier and we can click continue. And I'm gonna go ahead and test trigger, and what you're gonna recognize is it's gonna pop up with a lot more information now, okay? A lot more test information for us to map. So go ahead and click continue. And then search for REISift again. And then the event's going to be create and update property, continue. We're going to choose our REISift account. Again, if you don't have it linked, go ahead and go back to the Help Center and go through the Zapier Dojo and watch that first little bit to map it. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to add it to Carrot, even though it's already on the Carrot list. And we're going to do Carrot step 2 as a tag on step 2. This way, we know that this record that this lead filled out step 1 and step 2, okay? Now here's the really cool part, is we get to send all this information to our notes section. So what we're going to do is scroll down, and we're going to get to where we see some questions here. What is the current value? What is repairs and all this? And we're just going to add all this into here. Okay. I'm going to find all the questions. Best time to call. Basement. Do you want to sell fast? How long have you owned the property? Is anyone living in the house? I think, is anyone living, is the house listed with a realtor? I think that's all of them, okay? But what we're gonna do is we're gonna format this, okay? So I'm gonna start here, and I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna keep clicking the back arrow, and I'm gonna get to where each of this is on its own line. That way it's nicely formatted when it pushes the REISift, but it's only gonna send the answer, right? So it's only gonna send, for example, right here, it's gonna send terrible. So I'm gonna actually do this, property condition. Okay, you see what I'm gonna do here? And then repairs needed. Always add a space afterwards as well, because it does send exactly. Ultimate goal. Best time to call. Basement. Do you want to sell fast, homie? Just kidding. Okay. How long have you owned property? And then is house vacant? Is it listed with agent? Okay, so now it's going to be all nicely formatted when we send it to REISift. Let's go ahead. I was going to leave this, but it's been bothering me. Okay, now we got to map the street again and everything else. So street, so address street, city, state, zip code. Okay. Property status, we're going to just make sure it's updated as a lead, assigned to Diana at florida-realestate.com. We don't get any owner information except for the first name. So you can do first and then last name here. Sadly, we do not get any mailing address. So this will be an incomplete record, quote unquote, in REISift because you're missing that information. So I always recommend you find that. If this address is already inside of REISift and it becomes a lead with Carrot, it will not stack because this is actually going to create a whole nother owner because it's pushing the REISift and we're using create and update. So therefore it's actually going to create another owner, which is a blank owner, which is okay because we want that property address to that phone number to be able to merge over, right? So if you search the property address and you see it's actually already in your account, then you can go ahead and simply update that as a lead and so on, right? But a lot of times, more often than not, the records that come from Carrot aren't inside your account unless they're coming from a direct mail campaign or something like that, okay? Skip trace status, we don't care about. You can put it as true because it technically is you getting the right information. And we're going to do phone here. And then we're going to do email down here. Okay. Okay. So that's all mapped and everything is good. We got the first name and the last name. We have it updated status. We got all of our information coming in. I am adding it to a Carrot list. Because why not? And then I'm going to skip the test. And now all we're going to do is go and send this out to send a lead through. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to go back to Carrot and actually go to my Carrot website now. And I'm going to put in an address if I think of what address I want to put. Okay. So, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put in my office address here, 215 Hollywood Boulevard, Northeast. Phone number, let's just do 850-420-8700, sure. Tyler at REISift.io. Get my fair cash offer. Okay, so it's going to process and submit this lead through Carrot. What's going to happen is if I go to REISift and I search 215 Hollywood Boulevard Northeast, make sure we're under all, you're going to notice that it's already in the system right here, but notice that it doesn't have any owner information, right? It doesn't have any, which is okay because once we have auto tasks creation in here, which by the time you're watching this video, maybe it already exists, some sequences, you would get a task to call this person because it's a new lead in the system, right? But again, you're going to want to go through and do the details of updating the owner information, all that stuff. But notice that 215 Hollywood Boulevard in here is already existent because of the owner that used to own this building is in here as an incomplete record as well. So it didn't update as the mailing address. Now, if the mailing address was 215 Hollywood Boulevard, it would have updated as well. But technically, the mailing address to 215 Hollywood Boulevard is 215 Hollywood Boulevard. But that's just the kind of the byproduct of managing your data and then also having leads in here at the same time, is you're going to see things like this, which is actually really good because now I have the full insight. Like, oh, well, I know those mailing addresses aren't accurate on these records because, well, I own this building now, and it also explains why I still get mail from them, right? Okay, so now we're gonna do step 2, all right? We're gonna do my name, phone number, we're gonna just add a different email address, I guess. How long I've owned a property, say 1 year, excellent. We're gonna say 9, it's fully remodeled, to make millions is what we're saying we wanna make, and then I'm just gonna submit this info. And after I submit the info, it's going to come over to REISift, and it's actually going to update that record with all of this information in the notes. Right now, you can see that it doesn't have any notes, but once this finishes submitting, we come back over here and we click on the record, and we should end up getting information. If it doesn't, that means that we need to check our ZAP, right? We need to make sure our ZAP was turned on because something could have happened, okay? So let's go back, let's open it. Looks like we don't have anything yet. Owner info didn't update, so our second step might be broken. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back and we're gonna take a peek at what could be going on here, right? So let's look, REISift step 2 dot, that's this one right here. It's turned on. Let's see what might have happened. Did it not populate? Wait, what? Why is there a different address in there? It might have populated a different address. Someone else might have caught that in the video, but I did not when I did this. Yeah. So that's what happened. It populated a new video, a new address, and then there's all your information, okay? So I'm just gonna say that that's a mess up on my part, right? Because it populated the information wrong. But it still did everything it was needed to. If it was the right address, then it would have obviously merged and all that other kind of stuff, right? But notice also, it populated over this, the email, first name, last name, and all of the notes are now over here as well. So just make sure that you delete out your test data and you're all set. Now you can send your records from your Carrot website right into REISift and not have to worry about losing those Carrot leads. So hopefully it was valuable to you. Hopefully it helped out. All you need is Zapier, Carrot, and REISift, and you can go ahead and send those online leads into your account. All right, peace.